Okay, today we are going to change a Word document into a PDF form that's fillable. The document is right here, so the first thing we're going to do is save as a PDF. So we're going to File, Save As, saving in the current folder. So what we're going to do is we're going to change it right here where it says Save As Type. We're going to change it to PDF. I'm going to make sure that the options that I want are checked, which is create bookmarks, these three right here. Okay, and save. Okay, here is the PDF. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to Tools. We're going to find Prepare Form. Click on that. It says select a file or scan. So we're using this job aid. Start. So see, it automatically filled in a lot of spaces for the form. It actually gives you too many, so we have to go through there and take some away. You can preview the form. You can see how it's filled in places that, like this right here and this, are not what we want as part of the form. So to do that, we don't want all of these, so I could actually click on that, right click and hit delete, or I can click on it, hit the delete key on my keyboard, or since I know I don't want all of these, I'm going to highlight them and then hit delete on my keyboard. I know all of these I don't want, so we're going to save time and delete several of them at a time. The next page should have some. Actually need to look at that form and see. Oh yeah. So none of these are these. Hit the delete key. See how easy it is to get rid of these things? We don't want that one. We don't want that one. We don't want that one. Next page. Again, highlight. Hit the delete key. Highlight. Hit the delete key. We don't want that. That. If this is your own form, then you know which ones that you want to keep. This is actually not my form, but I'm using it. So now we have all of these buttons up here are all check marks. So if you preview it, you can see if I click on it, it's just going to give me a check mark. That's not what we want. We actually want radio buttons for that. So I'm going to make it a little bigger. And as of yet, I have not figured out how to easily change check marks to radio buttons. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and highlight all of these and delete them because I'm going to put radio buttons. What a radio button is means that you can only check one of the items in the group. If you come up here to the top, this is a radio button. You see when I hover over it, it says add radio button. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to come right here and put it in that little square. So this group is going to be 14 CFR part. So our first choice is going to be 121. We're going to add another button. This choice is going to be 125. Add another button. 135. And I'm just clicking and dragging over these items so that I can make a button. And this is 91. Okay, right now, if I went to preview and I clicked on these buttons, it would make a big spot, which is not really what I want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change that in the properties field. So I right click, go to properties, and it opens somewhere, maybe. Nope, it's thinking. So here are the properties. We're going to actually have to add a tooltip. So I'm going to put 14 CFR. What I want to change is the options. It says button style, and right now it's square. We actually want it to be a cross, which is a fancy way of saying X. We want to do that for each of these buttons. So that was the first one. The second one, we're going to change to a cross. We'll make sure this went through. Yes, it did. Cross. 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 Okay, we're going to close our properties. We're going to preview it and see now it's an X instead of a check mark. We're going to go back to edit. We've got to add radio buttons to all of these items. And we do it the same way. Click on the radio button. Click, drag. The group name is going to be application for. Yeah, like that. And you see how it closed, so, but I can still go back and fix it. So the name in the properties section is going to be application for. And you saw that I closed it and I didn't actually get to add another radio button. So now I've got to figure out how to do that, fix one that stays in that same group. All I'm going to do is go up here and make another radio button. Make sure it says application for in the group. And our choice is going to be Cat 3. We're going to look at the properties. Under options, we're going to change it to an X, a cross. And we're going to click on our Cat 2 because we did not give that a name. First, we're going to change to a cross. Then we'll go to general. Right here it says choice 1. We're going to change it to Cat 2. Okay, we're going to do the rest of these buttons. Okay, I went ahead and made a couple more of these so you wouldn't just sit there and watch me. So I'm going to show you another trick where instead of going up here every time and making new buttons, you can actually highlight these, Control C on your keyboard, Control V on your keyboard, so you paste them, and then you just move them up to where you want them to be. And right now, these are in the same category as the one above it that I copied, so we need to change it in the properties. It is a cross and yes, it is a cross and no, but it's also what it was listed above that. So now we're going to change the name to put it in a different group. And it's upgraded equipment on. So I'm going to highlight that and Control C copy it. So then I can put it in the tooltip. I go to the other button, take out what was there and Control V, paste it in there. So now I've moved these to a different section. Now, how do I know all of these are in different places? Over here on your right is all these new radio buttons that we just added. So the first one is the 14 CFR, the part, and you can see if I click on it, it highlights this block right here. So 121, 125, 135, 9K, 91. So just come over here and check. Next one is Cat 2, Cat 3. You can see this is where I named it in the properties on that first line. If I click on both of them, like on this name, it highlights all that's in that group. Yes, no. Cat 3, yes, no. And because I put these in order, I built the buttons in order. They're in order on this field section here. Yes, no. Oh, see, no, yes. So we need to move. No, it's yes. No, that's correct. If we needed to move it, it would easily just be click it and move it up. So now it says no, yes, and that's not what we want. I want to move it up. And look, it won't go. So what do we do now? So we click on the no, and we're going to bring it down. So it says yes, no. Okay, when we were taking fields out that we didn't need, we accidentally took out the first two that we did need. So what we're going to do here is we're going to put a new field in there for text. So we're going to add text. You're going to click on the box. So now we have a text box, and the field name is operator name. I'm going to go ahead and click on all properties since this is available. Now we have to make the tooltip, and so we're going to, again, operator name, because that's what we want to go there. Now some people may have a really long name and it may not fit in this box. So we're going to check our appearances. Right now it says font size is going to be 12, period. So what we're going to do is we're going to change it to automatic. That way, if their name gets really long, then the text size will shrink. And our font is going to be this all the way through. Now we need to add another text box. And this one's going to be date. Again, hit properties. We need to have the date here. Since we have a whole lot of space and nobody told me exactly how we wanted the date formatted, we're actually going to choose whichever one we want. So you go to the Format tab. We're going to choose a date. And now you can see all the different ways you can put the dates in. I'm going with month, day, year. So it's going to look like this down at the bottom. And then I'm going to close. Now, when we're going through this form, we want to be able to tab through it so it hits the correct, it goes to the next field. And right now, it will not do that. Because if you look over here in our little field section, it's going to start all the way down in this maintenance program section. And that's not what we want. We want the operator name to be first. So if we scroll down, because we added it next to last, it will be next to last in this list. So we want to move the operator name and the date. So I'm going to click on operator name. I'm going to hold my shift key down and click on date. And I'm going to click on both of those and drag them upward. A lot of times you cannot get it on the in-between if you just kind of keep moving. You see there's a little straight line under page. And I let go and it moved the operator name and the date first. So if I was going through, it would be operator name, date, and then it goes down here. So we need to move our radio buttons up. I guess you didn't see me pointing, did you? It goes down to here. So it goes here, here, and then here. We're going to move down. And all of these radio buttons are in the correct order. So I'm going to click on one, hold my shift key down, click on the last one because this is the order I want them. Now I'm going to click and drag. And put it under the date. So now we have it in the correct order. if we tab, it will, this is the order it goes in. And then to the next page, and you can see it gave names for the items already when we made the form. We most likely will go back to the first page and change some of those because they do not have a very good description of what the field is. So I just pushed my down arrow key all the way through those and saw that all the fields were in the correct order. So now we're going to go back up here to this one, and we're going to right click it, see the properties, general. So right here where it says operators reference document maintenance program, that is the description of this particular section. And that name right here is the same name that is right here. And really, okay, so it is part of the maintenance program, but they want to know what the type of the operation is. They want to know the reference document for the type of operation. And actually, this one does not even need to be there because that's part of maintenance program, and that's, you're not supposed to fill anything in there. So we're going to click on it and hit the delete key and make it go away. So now it's actually given us way over here, it says the type of operation. We can leave that in the name and just change the tooltip. So click on the items before type of operation and just put the tooltip as type of operation. Or you can change the name and it will change it right over here as well. Now it says type of operation. The reason I do not like to go ahead and change the name of these, right now they're all named differently. If they had the same name, if you put information in the form, it puts that same information in there in every box that has the same name. So we're not going to change the names of the different fields, but we are going to change the tooltips of the different field. So all I do is I can click either on the field to get to the next one, and you see it just changes up here. Again, I'm going to highlight all of this. Or you can click on the fields over here, and again, it will tell you the next one. You see, they're really long names. Because what they've done is take the information from right here and added it to the field. Or you could, right now I've left them pretty much what they say here, but you could go in here and let me go to one that I haven't done. You could highlight all of this, hit delete, and this one happens to be 1.h. You could call it that as the tooltip, or that's a really good name. You could put it, that is the name, and leave the MX requirements log entry necessary to change AWO status as the tooltip. Change the name right here. That means you know exactly where it is on here. It's not as hard to read. But that's up to you, however you want to name it or change it. So actually we're pretty much through with this form, so we're going to preview it. Actually, I'm going to close out the prepare form, and I'm going to just tab through it. So I'm just hitting my tab key to make sure, and see, it did not go where I wanted it to go. It went straight from operator name to type of operations. So we actually need to go back to our prepare form. And somehow our operator name has moved. So we're going to take it, highlight it, drag it up, and put it above date. So now our operator name is first. Again, we're going to close it so we can test it out. Hit on operator name because that's the beginning of the form. Hit tab, date, goes through the different parts. And I'm sorry, my fields are bright green. Yours may be blue or purple because that's usually the norm. I just have changed the color of the fields so that I can see them really well. Again, I'm going through and tabbing each one to see if they're correct. And we're back to the beginning. Okay, that's how you make it PDF Form Fillable. If you have any questions, just let me know.